Hi everyone! Before you pack your bags or chase the American dream, I want to ask you one honest question. Is America really heaven? Or is it hell in disguise? In this video, I'll share the true story of me, an Asian woman who moved to the US with hope, only to face reality harder than she ever imagined. There's no sugarcoating here. No fantasy. Just the raw truth about what it's like to live, struggle, and rise in America told from the heart. If you're thinking about coming to the US, this story might change the way you see everything. My name is Jenny. I'm just an ordinary woman from Asia, with nothing in my suitcase but a few clothes, a student visa, and a dream. I still remember the moment I landed at the airport in California. The cold wind hit my face the moment I stepped outside the terminal. The air smelled different, cleaner, colder, and somehow lonelier. Back home, people always said America was heaven. That over here, you could become rich, successful, even famous, if you just worked hard enough. And maybe that's why I was here, to chase the dream. To prove that I could build a new life in the land of opportunity. To make my parents proud. To escape the expectations of a traditional life. To find myself. But the first thing I found was silence. I had no friends. No relatives. Just the name of a host family, a college acceptance letter, and 2 part-time job offers I found through a Facebook group for international students. One job was cleaning rooms at a local motel. The other was working behind the counter at a small bubble tea shop in a quiet strip mall. I chose both. The first week, my hands bled from the cleaning chemicals. The second week, I got yelled at by a customer who said my English was too slow. By the third week, I was too tired to call my parents. And by the fourth week, I cried in the bathroom at work. Quietly, so no one would hear me. I remember thinking, is this the America they told me about? Where's the dream? Where's the joy? But I didn't go home, because even when things felt cold, lonely, and exhausting, I still believed in something deeper than comfort. I believed in opportunity, even if the opportunity came dressed in pain. And maybe that's what people never told me. That America doesn't give you anything, not for free. It gives you a chance. That's it. A chance to try. A chance to fail. A chance to rise again, if you have the strength. But it doesn't promise love. It doesn't promise kindness. And it certainly doesn't promise a shortcut. Give some music here. Those first 3 months were the hardest days of my life. But they also taught me more than 10 years of school ever could. I learned how to survive. How to budget $30 for a whole week of food. How to say I'm okay when I wasn't. How to smile even when I missed home so badly it hurt to breathe. But I also met people, real people, who gave me kindness without asking for anything in return. There was an old woman at the bubble tea shop who said to me once, "Sweetheart, don't just work. Go to school. America will test you, but if you learn and grow, it will change your life." That was the first piece of advice I truly held on to. Looking back now, that old lady may have saved my future without even knowing it. The price of survival, credit, rent, and the cost of dreams. They say opportunity in America is everywhere. But what they forget to tell you is opportunity comes with a price. For me, that price came knocking the day I got my first bill. It was for the 1-bedroom apartment I rented near the college campus. Not in a fancy neighborhood, not in a luxury building, just a small room with an old heater and a leaky faucet. $1,350 a month. That was just rent. Then came electricity, internet, phone plan, groceries. And let's not forget, textbooks. In the US, even school books cost as much as gold. So I did what most students here do. I applied for my first credit card. They said it was to build credit history. What they didn't say was that it also builds debt. At first, it felt like a blessing. Swipe now, pay later. Until later came, and I realized I couldn't pay. I owed $1,400, and I had $120 in my bank account. I had to skip meals. I drank hot water with lemon just to feel full. And the worst part? I didn't tell anyone. Not my parents. Not my coworkers. Not even myself, really. I just kept going. Because in America, people admire strength, not struggle. Everyone's doing fine, even when they're drowning. That was the first time I understood the truth. America doesn't break you all at once. It breaks you slowly, bill by bill, month by month, tear by silent tear. Some days I questioned everything. Why did I come here? Was this freedom or just a prettier kind of cage? But then I'd look around and see others like me. Roommates working night shifts. Immigrant moms taking 2 buses just to clean someone else's house. Old men picking up cans to sell for recycling money. And they weren't giving up. So how could I? I began learning new words. Budget, credit score, minimum payment, emergency fund. And slowly, painfully, I adapted. I got a second job tutoring kids in math. I meal prepped every Sunday to save money. I used coupons like my life depended on it, because it did. America was teaching me something important. Freedom isn't free. In this country, freedom comes with receipts. But it also gave me something else. Choice. I could stay in the struggle, or I could grow from it. I chose to grow. I began to see the system for what it was. Not kind, not cruel, just neutral. America doesn't promise success. It promises a shot at it. And that sometimes is enough to keep going. The loneliness no one talks about. Missing home. Missing yourself. There's one thing America doesn't put on its postcards. Loneliness. The kind that creeps in after the bills are paid. After the workday ends. After you close your laptop and turn off the lights. And you realize there's no one to talk to. I missed my mom's cooking. The sound of my father's slippers shuffling down the hall. The smell of incense in the morning. The way my language felt on my tongue. Natural warm, like home. But in America, everything felt foreign. Even me. My accent made people pause. My clothes made me feel out of place. My silence in crowded rooms became a heavy habit. I would scroll through my phone and see pictures of home. Weddings I missed. Birthdays. Family dinners. My little cousin grew 3 inches, and I wasn't there to see it. People back home would text me, "Wow, you live in America. Must be amazing." And I didn't know how to tell them that sometimes. It just felt empty. I tried to make friends. I joined school clubs, went to church, smiled at coworkers. But friendship in America isn't like back home. Here, people are friendly. But they're also busy, polite, but distant. They don't ask too many questions. They don't invite you over easily. And sometimes, even when you're surrounded by people, you feel completely invisible. I realized I wasn't just missing home. I was starting to miss myself. The happy, confident girl who used to sing while cleaning the house. The dreamer who believed the world was hers to shape. Somewhere between rent payments, language barriers, and 14-hour shifts. She got quiet. She got small. She started to fade. And that was the scariest part. Not the bills, not the work, but the thought that I might lose who I am trying to become someone I'm not. That I'd trade my identity for survival. My dreams for just staying afloat. But then, one day, I walked past a small bookstore. There was a note on the window that said, "You are not alone. Everyone feels lost before they find their way." And I stopped. I stood there for 5 minutes, just breathing, and I realized something. I wasn't the only one hurting. I wasn't weak. I was just human. That week, I joined a local immigrant support group. We shared stories, laughed, cried, told the truth. I made my first real friend in America there. Her name was Maria, from Colombia. She said to me, "We may come from different countries, but in loneliness, we speak the same language." From that moment on, I made a promise to myself. No matter how hard this country got, I wouldn't lose Jenny. Not the version they wanted, but the real me. The one who still dreamed, still hoped, still remembered where she came from. When everything changes, kindness, identity, and the true meaning of home. Sometimes, the biggest changes in life come from the smallest acts of kindness. It was a cold winter morning in California. I had missed the bus to school. My phone battery was dead. My hands were freezing. And I had $5 left in my wallet. I walked into a nearby cafe, not to buy coffee, but just to warm up. I sat in the corner, trying not to look too poor, trying not to cry. That's when the old Vietnamese man behind the counter walked over to me with a warm cup of tea. He said, "You look tired. Take this. No charge. And don't worry, we've all been there." He didn't ask me for anything. He didn't lecture me. He just gave me something I hadn't felt in months, human kindness. We started talking. He told me he came to America after the war, that he also used to mop floors, that his first apartment had no heat. But now, he owned this little cafe. His kids were in college. His wife still made banh mi for customers every weekend. He looked me in the eye and said, "Life in America is not about how fast you succeed. It's about how long you keep going. If you don't give up, this country can become your home." That conversation changed me. It reminded me why I came here in the first place. Not just for money, not for fame, but for growth, for freedom, for the chance to write my own story with all its scars and mistakes. I went back to school with a new energy. I applied for scholarships, took night classes, and started helping new students adjust to life in the US. I found myself again, piece by piece, and I realized something powerful. Home is not always a place. Sometimes it's a feeling, a smile from a stranger, a hot cup of tea, a phone call from your mom after a long day, a group of people who understand your struggle. I stopped trying to become American and started becoming me. The version of Jenny who belongs everywhere she chooses to stand tall. I began volunteering at a Vietnamese community center. I taught ESL classes to elders. I translated papers for refugees. I made my struggle into my strength. And slowly, this cold, demanding, foreign country started to feel like something warm, something kind, something I could call home. Is America heaven or hell? The truth I finally understand. So, is America heaven or hell? That's the question people always ask, especially back home. And for a long time, I didn't know how to answer. Some days, it felt like hell. Cold, lonely, unforgiving. Bills piling up. Working like a machine. Missing my family, my food, my language, my old self. Other days, it felt like heaven. That first college acceptance. That moment I stood on stage and gave a speech in English. That warm tea from the cafe owner. The day I paid off my last credit card. But now, after everything, I know the truth. America is neither heaven nor hell. It's something far more real. It's a battlefield, a classroom, a mirror. It shows you who you really are when no one is watching, when nothing comes easy, when all you have is you. In America, no one will carry you. But if you stand up again and again, it will let you rise. It won't hand you happiness, but it will give you the freedom to build it. Not just for yourself, but for others like you, the ones arriving tomorrow, carrying nothing but hope and a suitcase full of questions. I used to think success in America meant having a big house, a shiny car, a green card. Now I know success is waking up with purpose, being proud of who you are, not losing your roots just to chase someone else's version of success. And you know what? Happiness is not a place. It's a decision. America didn't give me happiness, but it gave me the space to find it. Through struggle, through people, through myself. And as I sit here today, looking back at the girl who first stepped off that plane, I want to tell her something. You did it. You didn't just survive, you became someone. Not someone else's dream, but your own. So, if you're watching this, if you're packing your bags, thinking of coming to America, or maybe you're already here and you're tired, let me say this. This land won't give you everything, but it will give you a chance. And that sometimes is all we need. Take your chance. Fight for it. And don't forget who you are along the way. Because wherever you are, if you're loved and you stay true to yourself, you are already home. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. This is not a sugar-coated story, nor a complaint. It's simply the truth. If you see a part of yourself in this journey, please share it. And remember, happiness doesn't depend on where you are, but on how you choose to live.